Hey guys, and welcome back. So now I'm going to show the setup to create an airfield, and this is more for week 7 because we're going to talk more about volumes, but I'm going to show the idea and I'll leave it to you guys to tweak as much as you can, and then week 7 we're going to take this to the next level. So the first thing I'm going to do, or the idea is basically we want to create an airfield, a volume around Kong, and then use Kong geometry or SDF to affect the volume. So let's copy this. Let's go up. Let's create a geometry. Call this airfield. And I'm gonna paste the file. I'm gonna use just 100 frames for now. I'm gonna shift this to 100. Delete. Shift this to 100. And I'm gonna scatter some points here, scatter some points here, merge both of them, and I'm going to use a bound node. Now the domain is going to be okay, so this is not too far. Let's try 140. Okay, and this is going to be my domain. This is where I'm going to be creating the sim. So let's create a VDB from Polygon and convert this into a volume. I'm going to set this to 1. And I'm going to increase, let's leave it at this for now. Not going to increase anything. I'm going to create a floating copy of the properties. And let's pin them. Let's create a dot network. Call this out volume. I'm going to copy the node and call this smoke airfield. And let's dive inside and create a volume source. Create a smoke object. And I'm going to create a pyrosolver just so I can have some noise and stuff to work with. Okay, connect these two. And let's create a ground. And I'm not going to use, I'm not going to add gravity for now. And the source, I'm going to make sure to change this. So the saw path is that, and I'm going to change the size of the grid to match that. Size 70, 90, 180. Okay. And let's move this, 45. I'm going to set this to 1 as well. And for the emission, I don't want the emission to be happening every frame, so I'm going to just let it emit for 2 frames. And let's hit play. We should see a smoke filling the entire volume. Okay, it's not filling the entire volume. Why would that be? Maybe we need to transform. Let me check. Yeah, the center, sorry, the center is minus 52 and 14, so let's copy this as well. So the center minus 52.5, and this is 14. Let's set the same, 174, so it matches 100%, and that's my volume. Now nothing is happening because there's nothing, and what I want to do is I'm gonna use Kong itself to interact with the volume. So let's create a null and call this out Kong. I'm gonna copy this and I'm gonna create a source volume again. I'm gonna change it to collision. Let's paste the path. And because we can interact with SDFs, volume works really well with SDFs. Let's call this Kong collision. And because we have Kong as a collision, we're going to use this airfield source. So the data here, it expects a surface field, but it's not called collision, it's called surface. So I'm going to rename that. And this is not called vel, it's called sorry, it's not called collision vel, it's called vel. That's how we named them. And if we hit play now, we should see something. Nothing. Okay. And I'm gonna make sure the dissipation is off so I don't lose any volume. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna squeeze this to half, like this, so if conch passes it through, we can still see it. And there is no volume, so let's increase the velocity to 100, and let's make sure we have vel and we have a surface. Yes. That's a bit weird. Set this to 1. Okay, so I'm gonna take a look at this quickly, see why it's not working. And in the meantime, I'm gonna do this. So VDB convert, I'm gonna convert this into a polygon. I'm gonna call this out conch geo. This is just a quick test, and I will debug the SDF thing in a bit. So let's increase this. I'm gonna copy this. I'm gonna disable this source, and let's create a static object and say it's deforming. That's our geometry. I'm gonna use the old technique. And this way we can use actual geometry and provide our own SDF. This also works, but this method is faster. Okay, let's make sure the SDF is being read. Cool. And this should work. Yep, it's working. And the velocity is really high. So that's why we're getting all this noise, and I'm gonna investigate why it's not working, and then we'll continue in the next video. Thank you guys for watching, and see you in a bit.